I recently started using my MacBook Air M4 as my main desktop device, and while it's been getting the job done, this dongle setup is just not ideal. So today I'm going to be setting up a docking station to make this entire setup a lot more efficient. The way that I have it set up right now is through one main dongle, which I plug my peripherals and my main monitor into. So I have my keyboard, my mouse, and my mic all plugged into that main dongle. And for my second monitor, I bought this USB-C to HDMI converter, which works very well. You actually have to use two separate ports if you want to get dual monitors, meaning you're going to need at least two converters or two dongles. If you're in the same boat as me, let me know down below in the comments, because you probably know the amount of issues that this comes with. The amount of cables everywhere, the MacBook's battery draining like crazy, and the wear and tear on your ports if you use this long term. For the meantime, this does get the job done, but it could be so much more efficient. And to fix that, TobenONE sent over their docking station. So thank you to TobenONE for sponsoring this video, and let's get this thing set up. They sent over their UDS033 docking station, which supports up to 3 displays, which is pretty wild. In the box, you get a user's manual, a power cable, as well as a USB-C cable, and finally, you get the docking station itself. Now, this docking station does support Thunderbolt 5, making it compatible with MacBooks and other modern laptops. And like I mentioned before, the triple display compatibility is also 4K 60Hz, and for single displays, it supports up to 8K. On the front of the docking station, there's 3 USB 3.2 ports, 2 USB-C ports, a power button, an audio jack, and a micro SD and SD card slot. On the backside, you get 3 HDMI ports and 3 display ports for higher resolution, another USB 3.2 port, an Ethernet port, and finally the USB-C port that plugs into your laptop. So right off the bat, I'm noticing that this looks so much cleaner than before. Like, I literally had a whole dongle, a converter, just laying on my desk with so many cables all over the place. And now it's literally just one cable and everything plugs directly into this docking station. So I have to say, it's definitely looking clean. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and get all my peripherals onto here and start this thing up to see how it actually holds up. So I've gotten everything plugged into this docking station, and it's pretty simple and straightforward. The only thing you do have to do is install DisplayLink to get these monitors set up, and that's also pretty straightforward. You literally just install it, plug all your cables in, and you're good to go. Right off the bat, this thing just looks so much cleaner. There's only one cable going into my MacBook, whereas before I had so many. It's also able to charge directly through this cable, so I don't have to have the charger plugged in while I'm using this or worry about the battery draining like crazy. I feel like my setup looks so much cleaner with this in here. I'm a really big fan of the minimalistic design, and I feel like some other docking stations just take up a lot of space for no reason. This one, on the other hand, is really compact. So I didn't really notice this at first, but because of this power button right here, I can actually just close the lid on my MacBook to turn it off. If you also have the 2 dongles set up, you know that closing the lid on your MacBook basically just makes your main monitor the primary display, keeping your MacBook on the entire time. And to turn it off, you have to unplug these cables every single time. However, with this, I just click the power button whenever I'm done, and it'll automatically power off both displays and peripherals, allowing me to close my lid on my MacBook to shut it off. It's not something crazy, but to me, this will definitely make turning my MacBook off a lot more convenient. Another one of my favorite things, which if you're doing any photo or video editing is just a huge plus, is the SD card and micro SD card slot on the front of the device. This makes it a lot easier to just plug in my SD card and transfer all the files over to my MacBook without having to plug in another converter. Now, the only thing that I wish was different about this docking station is these USB-C ports at the front. I just wish there was a couple more on the back just so I could have that clean cableless look. But the ports being on the front is much more convenient if I do need to plug in an SSD or anything else, so it's not a huge downside. I also really like these little rubber grips on the bottom, which prevent it from sliding around on your desk, and the little aluminum ridges give it that premium feel. One thing everyone overlooks when it comes to docking stations is the amount of ports they give you compared to using a regular dongle. Every time I wanted to connect something new with my old dongle setup, like a mic, SD card, or even just charging my phone, I'd have to unplug other things just so I could plug a new cable in. But now having a docking station, everything is already connected and ready to use. If I need to transfer footage from my camera, I can use the SD card slot on the front. If I need extra storage, I could plug my SSD into this thing. And if I need to charge my phone while I'm working, I can plug it directly into the USB-C ports. It basically lets me use my MacBook Air as a desktop machine, allowing me to fully replace my desktop gaming PC. And since everything stays connected to the docking station, I don't have to deal with unplugging and plugging cables into a single dongle, which since I am going to be using this setup full time is a huge plus. Another thing that I noticed is how much easier it makes cable management. Like you saw at the start of this video, my setup was very messy with tons of cables all over the place. Now pretty much everything goes right into this one device. It looks a lot sleeker. I personally like to have a clean setup. I just feel like it helps me focus up and be a lot more productive. It's one of those upgrades that I think will make this setup a lot more efficient, especially using it in the day-to-day. Having to unplug and replug multiple cables in every single day would really suck, so a docking station was a needed upgrade. Now the one thing that this docking station has solved for me is the convenience of using my laptop on my workspace. Being able to just go to my desk and plug one cable in, instantly charge my laptop, have my monitors, peripherals, and my mic all connected, and even being able to charge my phone directly from one device is definitely a huge convenience. This is definitely one of my favorite setup upgrades. It's made my setup more efficient and it should help me out with productivity. Overall, I have to say my setup looks so much cleaner with the docking station and is definitely a huge upgrade from what I had before. Also, in my upcoming video, I ended up getting a new desk and a bunch of other setup upgrades. So I'm going to be completely redoing this desk setup and I'm going to have this docking station in there as well, but with a little bit better cable management. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys again in the next one.